All right. Some obscure rules, some rules that, maybe don't get used as much, that sort of stuff. Let's kick it off right away here. Number one, abilities like instant kills that specify normal or elite targets don't work on named monsters. And you're thinking, named monsters? What are you talking about? Well, within the Gloomhaven scenario book, there are 7 scenarios. Yes, I went through and looked at every single scenario and read the special rules and conditions to see. But there are 7 scenarios that have a named monster who's basically a tougher version of an elite, but is not a boss. Anything that specifies normal or elite doesn't apply to those. And just in case you're curious, number 88, scenario 58, 87, 67, 62, 57, and 49. Number 2, healing an ally with full hit points will still get you the experience. So when you're in a room, you've cleaned it up, you haven't gone through the next door yet maybe, go ahead, throw a heal on somebody for fun, and use your bottom for a move as you get closer to the door, or do whatever. You're still going to get the XP. I know the rules in Gloomhaven are a little bit all over the place when it comes to, when you get XP or when you don't, but when you're healing, you definitely get the XP. Number 3, Retaliate and Shield, when they're on the monster stat card, still happen even though an enemy is stunned. So there's a few reasons for this. I don't want to spoil anything, but thematically, don't think of a Retaliate as somebody attacking you back. They could be, on fire or something like that, where just attacking them causes you damage. So even though they're stunned, you're still taking that damage and the shield's still going to be there. Number 4, monsters consume elements as a group. And let's say they consume an element for a buff. And you're in a room, they consume the element and they get buffed. Then you open another door, and in that other room, there's the exact same monster type. But the monsters in the first room are gonna have the buff, and the monsters from the other room are not going to have the buff. So just keep track of which monsters have the buff and which monsters do not have the buff. Pretty fringe case, but I thought it was hilarious. Number 5, when jumping, the last hex, if it's difficult terrain, costs you 2 to enter. And I know normally people pay attention to this rule when you're just moving around, but it feels like you get a little bit jump crazy. But just remember that the last hex of your jump, it's normal movement, and so that difficult terrain is gonna apply. Also, if you could, go ahead, hit that like button. It really helps me out a lot. And subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so that when I put out new content, you're notified. And I've also created another video about other mistakes around Gloomhaven rules. So go ahead, check that out. I think you're really going to like it. Number 6, when enhancing a card that uses an element to add targets, the cost of the enhancement is for a single target only. And I thought this one was really cool. I was like, hey, that's sweet. You can go ahead and enhance a multi-target card, because it's not always multi-target, but you can enhance a multi-target card for a single target cost. So go ahead, go rifle through all your cards right now and see which cards that applies to, and maybe it'll help you out. If you could at this point, please consider liking and subscribing, and thank you so much again for watching the video.